All right, let's dive straight in. Today, we're talking about the incredible and sometimes kind of chaotic world of AI-generated media. We're going to look at how AI is completely changing the game for creators and the really tough questions it's making us all face.
Now, just a quick heads up before we get into the good stuff. This is part 9 of our big 11-part series. We're breaking down a major report on generative AI from Virtualization Options LLC. Today, our focus is squarely on Chapter 9, which really gets into the creative power of AI, both the amazing promise and, the very real limitations.
So, this chapter really makes us stop and ask a pretty fundamental question. We know for a fact that AI can create some absolutely stunning art, but should it? And what happens when we, as viewers, can't even tell the difference between something made by a human and something made by a machine? Let's get into it.
Okay, let's start with the upside because it is massive. AI isn't just another tool, it's a full-blown creative revolution. It's making it way cheaper, way faster, and a whole lot easier for pretty much anyone to create content that looks professional. This is fundamentally changing who gets to be a creator. Let's look at the numbers.
Get a load of this number. 90%. The report found that AI can slash the cost of just getting initial concepts visualized by 90%. Think about what that means. A small business can suddenly afford a professional-looking ad. An indie filmmaker can storyboard their entire movie without needing a huge budget. I mean, that is a massive win for creative people everywhere.
And it's not just about saving cash. AI is also speeding up the creative process by 10 times. Just imagine being a designer who can now whip up and test 10 different ideas in the same amount of time it used to take to create just one. This is way more than just being more efficient. It's a huge leap in creative freedom, allowing for so much more experimentation. Okay, and this part is really exciting. The report highlights a 75% increase in accessibility to creative tools because of AI. This means that, seriously, anyone with an idea can now bring it to life with professional-looking results, no matter their background or their budget. It's truly a democratization of creativity.
So who's actually cashing in on this creative revolution? Well, the list is long and it's growing every day. We're talking advertisers, game developers, filmmakers, music producers, even architects. They're all using these AI tools to push the boundaries of what's possible. The impact is being felt across the entire creative world, from Hollywood blockbusters to one-person startups.
But, and this is a big but, here's the catch. For all its incredible power, AI is definitely still a work in progress. The results can be unpredictable, and sometimes they're just downright bizarre. This is really where the promise of AI crashes into the messy reality of its current limitations.
So now, let's talk about those glitches. And these aren't just some abstract problems, right? They're real, everyday frustrations that creators are bumping up against as they try to use this powerful but still very imperfect new technology.
The report points out several key technical flaws. We're talking about things like weirdly distorted images, videos where things just don't flow right from one frame to the next, and audio that sounds unnatural or robotic. These are the kinds of things that can totally ruin an otherwise amazing piece of content and just instantly break the illusion for you, the viewer.
Let's focus on video for a second. You ever seen one of those AI videos where something just looks off? Like a person's shirt suddenly changes color for a split second, or an object in the background just vanishes into thin air? That's what the experts call temporal inconsistency. It's almost like the AI has a bad short-term memory, and it's a huge reason why a lot of AI videos still doesn't look quite right.
This slide just says it all, doesn't it? The promise of AI is to create images that you can't tell from reality. But the reality, well, it's still full of weird and sometimes pretty funny mistakes. We've all seen the pictures with people who have 6 fingers, right? These aren't just little glitches. They're a clear reminder that the AI still has a long, long way to go before it can truly understand the world it's trying to copy.
The technical glitches will probably get fixed sooner or later. But that's when the real challenges are going to begin. The better AI gets at hiding its mistakes, the more powerful and convincing its illusions become. And that brings us to the really heavy stuff. The ethical dilemmas and the human cost of a technology that can create a perfect illusion of reality.
This is the question that should honestly keep all of us up at night. What happens when we can no longer trust what we see with our own eyes? What happens to society when we just can't tell the difference between what's real and what's fake anymore?
The report zeroes in on some really serious ethical concerns. We're talking about the huge potential for deepfakes to spread misinformation, the massive debate over whether it's fair to train AI on copyrighted art without paying the artists, and the simple question of whether we have the right to control our own digital faces and voices. But hey, it's not all doom and gloom. For every big problem, there are smart people working on potential solutions. The report actually points to some promising developments. Things like digital watermarking can invisibly tag content as AI-generated, which would help us separate fact from fiction. People are exploring new licensing models to make sure artists get paid. And there's talk of opt-out databases that could give us all more control. The future here is not written yet.
So, we end up right back where we started, but with a whole new sense of urgency. As these AI tools get more and more powerful, we all have a role to play in making sure they're used responsibly. This isn't just about the developers or the big tech companies. It's about all of us. The future of truth? Well, it's in our hands.